Perfect. Now we're going to get into memories from trails. So the next question is, what was your favorite and worst memory from the PCT?
I'll start with the worst. I have gout. If people don't know what gout is, it's actually your body's inability to get rid of uric acid, and it forms in joints, your hands, feet. It's an early form of arthritis. And what happens is when you move your knuckles, it cracks the shards and they turn into almost glass, and you get an infection internally. I know I've had it for years. I was stupid. In Idlewild, I was celebrating with a lot of other hikers at the brewery, and I had to have a beer, which is the no-no for me. So I got over San Jacinto and got down into Whitewater and had a gout episode in my knees, of all places. Not my feet, but my knees. And it proceeded to bother me for the next 300 miles. So yeah, it was really bad. Actually had a hiker's husband take me into Wrightwood to get a resupply of my medicine because I was going through my medicine too fast. So it was the only place I could get it real quick. So yeah, it was from basically Whitewater all the way to Acton. That people would look at me on the trail and say, why the heck are you on the trail? You're limping. The only benefit of gout is once you start moving the joints and you get into a motion, it actually doesn't bother you. It's just when you start, it's like a stiffening. So you get going. So as long as I was going, I'm good. Hit a turn, forget it. I'd be limping again. I'd stop. People would be like, are you okay? I'm like, yes, don't worry. I'll get through it. So that was my worst thing of the hiking of this year. I think the best one, my favorite, was actually finishing this year for a lot of reasons. Last year, I was pulled off the trail early because of the fires. I'd gotten all of Washington, most of Oregon, got to the border, and then I jumped around in California, but for the most part, skipped California. And this year, my favorite day was my last day. I started in Marble Mountains, hiked all the way to Sayad Valley, 35 miles, and did it all. It was the longest day I've ever hiked for me. 35 miles is a good distance. But going in there in the moment of walking into the store of just saying, okay, that's my finish. Wow, I did it. I have now completed this thing. And I did it in an unusual spot. A lot of people do it at the borders, but this was at Sayad Valley. And the irony was that was where I'd stopped my continuous path southbound. So it was like the same place. So I was like, this is cool. Get into Sayad Valley, and it's a small world. I'm like, I got to hitch into Wairika since I'm done. Go out, and another person that was hitching there, I forgot his trail name right offhand. Should have remembered. Should have wrote it down. Bad memory. But he had just finished the trail 20 minutes before me.
What?
Of all things. Yeah, so he'd done sections over 5 or 6 years, and here he's hitching into Wairika at the same time, and he's like, I'm going off the trail. I'm done. I'm like, I am too. No way. So we ended up getting a hitch pretty quickly out of Sayad Valley into Wairika, and then had dinner that night in Wairika and talked for a while. He's from the Oregon area, but it was just a small world of like your favorite moment. You finish, you do a great distance, and you meet somebody on the trail that is finished the same day, of all things. So it was a cool moment.
What are the chances? That's amazing.
That's what I said. Just the luck of the draw. And I got through there before the fire started up in what was it, McKinley this year, a couple of days later. So I got through all of California before being interrupted. And some people ask, why didn't you continue? I'm like, I finished it. Rehiking Oregon in under a year, I'm like, nah, it's not worth it for me to go do that. Plus, Oregon already had 2 closures. So I'm like, I'm done. I'm out, tapped. And I was just like, small world, that it run into somebody else. And it goes to the comment, there are so many people on the trail, so many stories. And just to do that, borders are one thing, but Sayad Valley, I was like, okay, cool.
That's so funny. And for you, I bet was wonderful too, because it was like full circle, you said.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
Great.
It was just destiny, because I'd hiked to Sayad Valley, and at Sayad Valley, I had to jump off last year for the fires. So I had to jump around the Rivers Complex fire. I went back in, jumped around again. So just all of that thing, I didn't plan it. it's just the way fate, so to speak, destiny had it. Like, okay, I'm calling it. That's a good day. I'm not going to blow it and try to hike up out of Cyan Valley. I'm like, no. That hike, no, thank you.
No. You don't want to do that again.
At 100 degrees, right? I was going downhill at 100. I'm like, oh, it was like 97 when I pulled into that place. I'm like, oh, I don't think I could hike out of here. So I'm like, yeah, I'm done.
Don't do that to yourself, please.
Nope.